Hi everybody. I'm sorry I'm not camera ready. But this was important and I needed to get this up. So I just got this information just a few minutes ago. 60 new charges have been filed against Madeline Soto's mom's boyfriend, Stephan Sterns. He's a complete pig. We already know that. And I think most of us knew more was going to come out. So he's been charged with, and I'm going to have to censor myself, but he's been charged with 8 counts of S battery on a child under the age of 12, 5 counts of S battery with a child 12 to 18 years old, 7 counts lewd and lascivious M-word station, 40 counts of unlawful possession of materials depicting S performance by a child. This poor girl, she went through it. So that means that they have found a lot more images and videos. That's what that means. According to documents obtained by WESH, Sterns had been ABUSING Madeline for nearly 2 years. Now, I think we all knew that pretty much, but, you know, they have to get the evidence. There's what you know, and then there's what you can prove. You know what I mean? It's one thing to know something. It's a whole other thing to be able to prove it. And since we're here, I wanted to go ahead and go over my notes for my next video I was going to do. We'll just do it in this video. Jen Soto said Madeline was dropped off near the school at the church. The church in question and Madeline's school are separated by State Road 417. If you're not familiar with Orlando, that's substantial. That's a substantial road for a child to cross, even at 13 years old. The church and school aren't that near to each other. You know, she said they were right next to each other. They're not that near each other. And you can't even see the school from the church, from my understanding. And Madeline's mom said the church is right next to the school. So here is a video clip of her saying that.
Monday morning, we took her to school. We dropped her off close to school, across the street from a church, which is it's right next to the school. She crossed the street and walked to school, what we thought walked to school. My boyfriend who drove her to school drove away at that point. It was seen on video footage that she hung out in the parking lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards the school. But she never made it that walk and that was around 9 a.m. when she got up. She never made it to school after that. It's right next to the school. I don't know why she didn't make it. I don't know if something happened on her walk along the...
Also, Jen Soto told the police when they came and took the initial report that Madeline was dropped off at school. That's what she told the police at Hunters Creek Middle School. When she was interviewed by WFTV and by Fox on February 27th and 26th and 27th, Jen said Stephan dropped her off near the school. So what she told the police wasn't what she told the reporters. And at the school and near the school are two different things, very different things. Also, she said, we dropped her off. I know everybody's focusing on that we, because it's weird. It's weird how she's saying that. Then she says, he dropped her off. And it's just weird how she's choosing to word that. Now, she wasn't seen on any of the footage inside his car or with him, you know, when they found footage of him dumping her, you know, footage of him back at the apartment and footage of Madeline in the car when they believe she had already been passed away. But still, it's weird how she's wording that. The police have been asked if mom is also being investigated, and all they'll say is they have a focused investigation going on. I'm sure they're investigating her I would guess that would actually be the standard. But now, you can't be convicted based on what you say in a television interview, but they can certainly look at the inconsistencies in your story and be like, we need to check into this further. And also, people keep bringing up, oh, well, she was scared of him. Maybe she was afraid of him. That's not a defense. In the court of law, that isn't a defense. That may come into play for sentencing. But as far as that being a defense, it's not. It's just not. And a thing I've been noticing some people are troubled about, Jen Soto saying Madeline was seen on the church's surveillance footage that Monday morning. I just want to clarify, it was Jen's sister that said the cops told her they have surveillance video from the church and they saw Madeline on it. So it was Jen's sister that told her that. Apparently she was at the church and she said the police came out and told her that they have surveillance video and see Madeline on it. Now the police say they never said that to anybody, so, you know, but that's where Jen is getting that information from. Also, so I want to insert that clip here.
So with the video that you were able to see whenever your boyfriend dropped her off, where was that? Which video? Was that a surveillance camera?
It was a surveillance camera from the church, Peace Church, right next to Hunters Creek Middle School.
And do you have that video?
I don't have that. They didn't show me. They wouldn't show me. It was actually, my sister was the one at location and they were letting her know what they saw on camera.
Okay.
But they didn't show it to any of us.
And also, I know this has been covered already, but I just want to bring it up that pig is walking around in the background of this one interview, you know, sitting down, popping his knuckles. He seems very agitated to me. And I've watched a few body language experts that analyze this footage and, you know, they're saying kind of the same thing. My hair is crazy. And I would think a lot of people who saw this video before this creep was arrested probably thought the same thing I did. He did it. You know? More times than not, it is the boyfriend of the mother. You know? I can think of at least a dozen times when the boyfriend's been the one that did it. And I'm not even shy about it. I'm sure a lot of us was on to him from the start. You know, I'm not saying I'm special. I think a lot of us with half a brain, our brain could be smooth as a butter, and we know that he was responsible. You know, and also I wanted to point out the hopelessness of the mom in her interviews. It's just, it comes off as odd to me. And I was watching the behavior panel, and they bring that up too. And I will try and find a clip where we'll discuss that in another video. And also, I wanted to talk about, I want to insert that video too. And it may be a repetition as far as the interview goes, but I just want to show you him in the background in case you haven't seen it. I'm sure you have, though.
It's right next to the school. She crossed the street, footage that she hung out in the parking lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards the school. But she never made it. That walk and that was around 9 a.m. when she got up. She never made it to school after that. It's right next to the school. I don't know why she didn't make it. I don't know if something happened on her walk along the way or if she got taken, but she never made it.
And that was the last anyone seen of her or heard from her?
Yes. I went to pick her up after school. And she wasn't there. So I started driving around, maybe thinking she took a walk. Maybe she decided.
And also, a viewer of mine brought this up, so I wanted to talk about this real quick. The GoFundMe started by Stephan Sterns for funeral and family expenses. I would assume the family expenses, and it should have been specified. Honestly, if you're expecting people to give money, you really should specify. I would assume the family expenses mean to cover the work Jen Soto is missing due to all of this, because I'm sure she hasn't been back to work. I wouldn't be. You know what I mean? You know, but bills don't stop. Your bills don't care what's going on in your life. And the funeral expenses were covered by a local funeral home. So there shouldn't be any funeral expenses. The only expenses should be the ones Jen is incurring from not working. Now, as far as legal expenses, I don't think money raised from GoFundMe can legally be used for legal expenses. I'll have to review GoFundMe's terms of service, but I don't think that they can use funds for legal. And we can think what we want about Jen. I definitely have my opinion about what's going on with her. But life, unfortunately, goes on. And you know, Jen's bill still exists. So that money should only be going to her. The money they say is for family expenses. The rest of the family shouldn't be incurring any expenses. You know what I mean? But at the bottom of the GoFundMe, the description, it stated, the funds will be used for Maddie's funeral arrangements and to support our family. You know, what does that mean, our family? It should be going to support Jen, maybe, but why the whole family? Maybe it's just poorly worded. But this GoFundMe was put up, or at least it was updated after Madeline's service, her private service. So and the funeral home paid for the funeral, so there really shouldn't be any expenses. And I had seen, I try to be very, you know, I try to do my research and make sure I have my information correct. And I always ask you, correct me if I'm wrong, tell me, leave more information in the comments. But I've been watching a lot of YouTubers who are just crazy. Like this one guy, he's just, I think he's just loopy. And he's like saying, you know, the little girl was cremated and that can't be that expensive. Okay, so my mom died in 2009 and we were looking, she told us different things and she ended up not getting cremated because me and my brother were in disagreement because she never wrote anything down. She never made anything legal. She just told me one thing and told him another. She told me she wanted to be cremated. And then the lady at the funeral home was like, well, if it's about saving money, it's really only going to save a couple $100. So yes, cremation is very expensive. It's nearly just as expensive as a traditional burial. So yeah, because you still have to buy a casket and then you have to buy a vessel for the ashes. So yeah, it's almost as or just as expensive. So to answer that question. And with these 60 new charges, he is definitely looking at the most severe sentence there is for these, providing he'll get convicted, and he absolutely will. If there's any justice in the world, he will. So even if, and I hate saying this, but even if they can't charge him with unaliving Madeline, he can still get the death penalty. So there's that. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this up really quick. Again, sorry that I'm presenting myself like I just woke up. I just rolled out of bed. Because I know it seems late, but I work late at night. So, you know, this is me in the morning. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with y'all, get your thoughts. And I'm sorry it was kind of flustered and unorganized. I just wanted to get it out there immediately. But thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to everyone later. Bye.